So it won't affect the scheduled date on your manufacturing order, but it will create it in advance to give you the time. So as you can see on the graph, you will find the manufacturing order creation on the left. Then at the end of the length of this day to prepare manufacturing order, you will have the manufacturing order planned date. And then after the manufacturing lead time, we will see the deadline. As you can see here, you will see the days to prepare manufacturing order that is situated just below the manufacturing lead time on the inventory tab of the product form. So actually, it's a field that can be directly computed from the bill of materials. So Odoo will directly tell you the number of days that you need in order to resupply all the components. And here, in the case of a subcontracted product, in order to estimate the customer arrival time, we will have the vendor lead time, which will be the addition of the security lead time, the manufacturing lead time at the subcontractor's place, and the purchase lead time, so the time that you need to purchase the components in order to send them to your subcontractor. If the addition of the manufacturing lead time and the purchase lead time is higher than the vendor lead time, Odoo will take this into consideration. But in order to estimate in the most precise way the delivery date to a customer, we developed here a new overview, which is a bill of material overview. So this is a new report that aims to replace the previous bill of material structure and cost that we had before, by here giving an estimation of the availability date of the product and its components. So as you can see, you will have different columns, such as the product and its components, the quantity, the ready to produce, so the quantity that can be directly used to launch a manufacturing order, the quantity that is free to use or on hand, so in your inventory, the different estimated availability dates that are based on the lead times with the routes and the costs. But how will it work concretely? So here, the idea is that you will be able to set up a specific amount on the quantity here on the top right, and Odoo will directly tell you when this unit will be available. So in that case, I am manufacturing a table. I can see that I have a manufacture route of 5 days, and in that example, we are on the 13th of September. So here with my 5 units, I can see that I have 0 units that are free to use, so on the top right, because I don't have any tables on my inventory. I have 1 unit that will be ready on the 18th of September, so in 5 days, because I need 5 days to manufacture it. And I can see that as I have one unit that is ready to produce. And I also will have 4 units that will be ready on the 23rd of September, so in 10 days, because for those one, I need 5 days to manufacture, plus 5 days to buy the components. So this is a really nice and quick overview in order to give to your customer an estimated delivery date. Finally, I will also come back quickly on the different procurement methods that we have on Odoo that will help us to concretely launch our different operations. So on Odoo, we will find first the reordering rules that we can view on the replenishment reports. So the idea is that you will be able to set up a minimum and maximum on a specific product, and Odoo will trigger automatically or manually a request for quotation or a manufacturing order based on the actual demand that you have on the system. And usually we will use those rules when we have short or medium lead time, or when we have a good, a steady demand, when we have a good knowledge of. We can also use the make to order route, which is also based on the actual demand, but it's a direct link between the demand and the replenishment. And finally, we can also use here the master production schedule. So here, the idea is that we will have an overview of different storable products on which we will see the actual and forecasted demand, the actual and suggested replenishment, and the forecasted stock. So the idea is that you will be able to fill in the forecasted demand, and so Odoo will suggest you with a quantity to replenish in order to meet that demand. And usually we will work with it when we have longer lead times, or when we have an unpredictable demand, or when we have, for instance, seasonal products. But enough here with the theory. Let's go on Odoo to see how all of this concretely works. So today we are going to work as a company that sells and manufactures electric bikes. So before going into any flow, I am first going to show you how I have configured my different products. So for that, I'm going to go on my inventory. So I'm just going to check my connection here. So I think I have a small technical issue. I'm just going to check with someone. Here. Oops. Excuse me, can you come, please? I'm not sure with my connection, and on my local it's not working.
Oh. But you're on localhost?
This one, yes, but
You need internet,
yeah.
but you didn't have it. Oh, fuck.
The connection is still lost.
Should be good back online.
Yeah, but it's not loading.
What?
But yeah.
Tu parles français?
Ouais.
C'était en localhost?
Mais
Non, hein.
normalement. Sorry for those few minutes of waiting. Now we can start the demo. So here, as I said, we are working as a company that sells and manufactures electric bikes. And today we're going to see here the different configuration on my inventory. So firstly, here I have my electric bikes here, and I will check what is important in that product. So I will see that on my electric bike, I will have a route of manufacturing with a manufacturing time of 5 days. And I see here under that I have my days to prepare manufacturing order with 4 days that are directly computed, and we will see later why. And so here we're not going to work with any reordering rule, as we will launch our replenishment with the master production schedule. So what is important here as well is to check our bill of material here, and I will see that it's composed of 1 battery and 1 bike body. So if I have a look on my bill of material overview, I will see here that my electric bike is composed of my battery and my bike body, that is itself composed of a frame and a wheel. So directly I can see that for 1 unit, I have 0 units that are free to use and 1 unit that will be available here on the 18th of October. Why? Because it's in 5 days, as I can see that my manufacturing lead time is here in 5 days. I can also directly have a look on my bike body to see how it is configured. And I will see that here I have a manufacturing route with a manufacturing lead time of 2 days. And here I will work with a replenishment rule of 0, with manual trigger, so we will see it later. And here, if I'm going on my bill of material, I will see that I will have 2 components, so the frame and the wheel that we have just seen before. And I also have access to my bill of material overview here. And I can also see the estimated availability dates and lead time. So I'm just going to come back here on my bill of material overview for my electric bike. And here I want to know how I can use my days to prepare manufacturing order. So if you remember, we can see that my days to prepare was here of 4 days. And if I click on compute from BOM, I will see that it's 4 days. And why? Because I know that I need here on my bill of material overview 2 days here to buy my components, 2 days to manufacture the sub-products, and I also need 2 days to buy my battery, but I can do it in parallel. So Odoo knows that in total I need 4 days in maximum in order to resupply those components, and then I can launch my manufacturing order. But let's take here a concrete example. So let's say I have a customer that calls me and he needs 4 units or 3 units of my electric bikes. What am I going to do? I can go here on my sales module, and I'm going to here create a new quotation for my super clients with my electric bikes. I will here put my quantity as 3 units, and I want to know what should be the delivery date in order to give him an estimation. So what I can do is that I can simply click on Save, and here I can go directly on my forecasted report, here. And I will see that I have a direct link with my manufacturing forecast. And so I will here directly be able to put my quantity on the top right, like this. And Odoo will directly tell me that the unit should be available on the 22nd of October. So what I can see also is that I have here 0 units that are free to use because I don't have any bikes on my inventory. I have 1 unit that can be available before the 22 because I still have some components to produce 1 unit. And I also have here 2 units that will be ready, so on the 22, because I have my lead time here of 5 days to manufacture my final product. And also here 4 days, so my days to prepare manufacturing order here to resupply everything. So it means that I will have here everything ready in 9 days, so 5 days plus 4 days. So now I can just come back on my quotation here, and I will put the delivery date here on my delivery date field on the 22. And now I can just here confirm it. So based on that, I will have a delivery order that will be, of course, scheduled on the 22nd of October. And now I can just simply work with my replenishment. So I want to be on time for that date. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go on my manufacturing module, on my master production schedule, and I will be now able to play with it in order to replenish the 3 units that I need. So what we see here is that I have my electric bike. I can also see that I have a demand here, my actual demand of 3 units, but I see now that everything is in gray. So why? Because now I don't need to do anything. And I also see that I have only 9 boxes here that are in gray, not the rest. Why? Because it's based on the manufacturing lead time and the days to prepare manufacturing order. So this is here that it comes also into action, because if I hadn't put a days to prepare manufacturing order, Odoo would have told me to replenish it just 5 days before my delivery date, and I would not be on time to replenish all my components. So now, for instance, if I put a forecasted quantity after the 23rd, I will see that nothing happens. But if I put a forecasted quantity on the 22 or before, Odoo will tell me to replenish. And so here, I'm going to check with the other departments, do I have other demands or not? And I'm going to put here 3 units. And Odoo will tell me here directly that I need to replenish those units as the cells becomes green. So now I can replenish it. And Odoo will create for me directly a manufacturing order. So I see that here I have my new manufacturing order for my electric bike, and it's scheduled in 4 days, so I know that I don't need to take care of it now. And the deadline is in 9 days, as I have 5 days of manufacturing lead time. But that's not the end. I also need to resupply my bike body and my frame, and so for that I can go on my inventory. And I will see here on my replenishment that I have my bike body with some quantity to order. It's 2 because I already have 1 in my inventory. And I can check here the information. So Odoo tells me that today we're on the 13th of October. I have a manufacturing lead time of 2 days. I don't have any security lead time, but I could have put some. And I have 2 days to resupply my components. So it means that my forecasted date is in 4 days. So from here, I will be able to order it directly, and Odoo will trigger me a new manufacturing order. So now I see I have my 2 manufacturing orders. One is scheduled in 2 days with a deadline in 4 days because I need 2 days to manufacture it. One in 4 days with a deadline in 9 days. And the last step is to order the sub-components that I had. So I can go on my purchase here. And I will see that I have here my bike supplier, a request for quotation for him, for 2 units as well. And so here I see that my order deadline is on the 13th of October, which is today. And the expected arrival is on the 15th of October, so in 2 days. So I have 2 days of lead time, so it makes sense. And so from now, I can just confirm this request for quotation and just hope that the product will arrive at time. And so from there, I can just simply go through my different operations and be on time for the rest. So I hope everything was clear for you. I apologize for the small inconvenience with the technical problem, and thank you for staying with me until there, and I will now through to your questions. Thank you.
So, why the creation of days to prepare manufacturing orders?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Why the creation of days to prepare a manufacturing order?
Yes, that's a good question. So the idea is that thanks to that, you will create the manufacturing order on time in order to replenish all the components, and you will have the right schedule dates. Because before we didn't add it, and so it meant that either your manufacturing order was created too late, or either it was created on time but without a good schedule date.
Are the days calculated dynamically?
No, currently they're not calculated dynamically, so they're computed from the bill of material directly, or you can do it manually. But I know that the team is working on it, so I cannot really pronounce myself on that, but I know that it's discussed right now.
Can they be used for subcontracting the days?
So in subcontracting, we will not really use the days to prepare and the bill of material overview, but there is like an equivalent. So we will use the vendor lead time, and so the difference between the vendor lead time and the manufacturing lead time will be the kind of days to prepare manufacturing order. And so Odoo will be able, on the operation on subcontracting, to put the right schedule date and deadline on all the different operations.
If you nest manufacturing orders, does it take them into account for the calculation of expected days?
Can you repeat, please?
If you nest manufacturing orders, does it take them into account for the calculation of the expected days?
To be honest, I'm not sure to understand the question, so I would invite you to come to me afterwards or to my colleagues in order to see it on more details.
Okay. Why can't we add multiple products at the same time in the MPS?
We can, actually. I just took the example with one product, but we can for sure add different products and their components.
Okay. In the MPS, is there a way to filter by only the product that needs to be produced?
To be honest, I'm not sure, but the idea is to see what you need to replenish, but I could just check right now. Wait. So actually here you could filter it, but I will need to check in more details in order to answer you.
Can we use the reordering rules with the PLN?
The PLN, I'm not sure what is the PLN, to be honest. So that I will also need more information for that. So the idea of the reordering rules is really to put them on a specific product, and then it can launch either a request for quotation or either a manufacturing order, but the reordering rules are really used at the product level.
How can we plan the capacity of work orders per work center and per employee?
So how can I plan the capacity of the work orders? So that I will also invite you, it's a good question, to come to our logistic booth to discuss it with our colleagues. I know also that there are other tools regarding the operation more precisely, so I invite you to ask us afterward.
When do you estimate Odoo will change the colors in the MPS? Because it is very difficult to identify when you have multiple days and products.
So if the question is, so when Odoo estimates to change the color in the MPS, so basically it will change when you put a forecasted demand, so it's based on a manual action that you will make, then the color will be different, and if it's in green, then you should replenish. If it's in gray, you do not need to do anything, and then if it's in red or orange, it might be that you have already replenished too much or not enough, so it will depend on what you put on your forecasted quantity.
Can this take manufacturing capacity into consideration when the expected day, in the expected day calculation?
So it's currently not taken into consideration, but as I said, it's something that is taken into account by our team. So that might be, I cannot really pronounce myself for sure, but it might come for later.
Okay, how to manage manufacturing order when you need to subcontract some products, but the decisions are made ad hoc?
Well, the idea is that when you subcontract, you won't use the manufacturing orders, but you will work mainly with purchase order, so you will work with that. And then for sure, there is a part at the subcontractor side, and so you will need the input of the subcontractors to manage the process and validate the operation.
Can we set a number of days in between the first and second operations in a manufacturing order?
That's a good question. Actually, I am not sure regarding the path or the operation, so that I will need to check as well.
Do you take confirmed POs, purchase order, for scheduling date calculation?
Currently, I don't think they are taken into account, but that I will also need to confirm to you.
Manufacturing lead time is linked at the product, but sometimes the work center will directly affect the lead time. How do you handle this?
Well, here I guess it will be linked with the capacity, but so here in that topic it won't be taken into account as we will work only with the manufacturing lead time on the product.
No more questions.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you everyone for your attention, and I wish you a good rest of the day.